Subject English. Topic The Noble Stag. Standard 3rd. Hello student, I am Meera Singh and today we are going to learn an interesting lesson. So student, before starting our lesson, let me ask you a few questions. So let's begin. So student, my first question is, which animals do you like the most? Tell me the answer, student. Yes, I know that you all love animals. So all of you have your favorite animals. My next question is, have you heard or read the story of kind and brave animals? Tell me, student. Yes, maybe some of you have read the story. So student, this story is about a kind and brave stag. Stag means a male deer. So let's see what is there in the story. Are you ready, student? Lesson number 32, The Noble Stag. King Brahmadatta of Banaras was extremely fond of hunting. Student, King Brahmadatta lived in a place called Banaras. Banaras is also called Varanasi, student, and Varanasi is a city in the North India state of Uttar Pradesh, and Banaras is also famous for its river Ganga, and also it is famous for its Banarasi sari. And in those days, students, most of the king liked to hunt the animal. They are extremely fond of hunting. Luckily for them, on the outskirts of the city was a huge forest filled with deer. So, as King Brahmadatta liked to hunt animals, fortunately, he also had an outskirt where extremely large forests are there, and in that forest plenty of deer and other animals were there. Student, here outskirt means the outer part of a city or town. Have you understood, student? One fine day, the king had gone hunting with his courtiers. He told his courtiers, "If you allow even a single deer to escape, I will punish you severely." So, student, one day, King Brahmadatta told his courtiers to watch the animals, that is deer, and not to allow a single deer to escape. And if they escape, the king will going to punish them severely. So, the courtiers have to strictly obey the order of the king. Now student, let's see the meaning. Number 1, outskirts. Outskirts means the outer parts of a city or town. Now the next one is courtiers. Courtiers means a person at the court of a king. Now the third one is severely. Severely means harshly or sternly. Now have you understood, student? So the courtiers formed a tight circle from which no deer could escape. Then they began to beat their sticks on the ground to frighten the deer. So they made a circle so that the deer will not run away. They kept hitting the ground with the sticks. So if any deer were hiding in the bushes, they were scared and came out from the bushes. So student, in that circle, a small open space were there, where king was waiting with his bow and arrow. So student, as you see on the screen like this, they have started beating the ground to make the deer to come out from his hiding place. Suddenly, a stag leaped out of a thicket. The stag saw that the king was standing in the way. So student, when the courtiers were beating the stick on the ground and they are also shouting, and when the stag listened the sound of a stick, the stag leaped out of unexpectedly and jumped through a dense group of bushes. And then he saw that the king was standing in the way. So, when the king was standing in front of the stag wondered how to escape from there. But the king was thinking that he will easily kill the deer because he has skilled in shooting or hitting a target. So the king was imagining that he is able to kill the deer. Now student, let's see the meaning. Clearing. Clearing means an open area without any big trees. Now the next one is thicket. Thicket means thick growth of shrubs and plants. Now the next one is straight in the eye. Straight in the eye means directly in the eye. Have you understood, student? So he looked the king straight in the eye and made a dash towards the king. So as the deer want to escape from that place, confidently the stag started looking in the eye and made a dash towards the king. It means that the stag ran suddenly and quickly towards the king. The stag hit the king. As you see on the screen, the king shot an arrow towards the stag hurriedly. But the king missed the shot and not able to kill the stag. But student, you must know one thing about the stag is the stag has excellent inborn way of thinking. Stag is very smart and extremely good at moving aside quickly to avoid an arrow, blow, etc. Whether the arrow is shot at from the back or from the front or even the top, the stag is able to escape. And one more good quality stag has is that if anyone aimed at its belly, the stag pretends to roll over and then he jumped up and runs once the danger has passed. So the stag has excellent thinking. Have you understood, student? So when the stag rolled over, the king thought that his arrow had found its mark. He lowered his bow and began to walk towards the stag. So when the king shot an arrow towards the stag fall forward along a surface. So the king thought that his arrow has found its mark, means he thought that he hit a target. That is, who is the target of the king is the male deer, that is stag. But the stag suddenly jumped up and shot past the man. Shot past means the stag suddenly moved quickly. And then the stag ran away. And then the courtiers started laughing because they realized that the king has missed the target. So as you see on the screen, student, the courtiers started talking among themselves that the king has missed the target. Even the king has a skill in shooting, in hitting a target. Still he missed the target. The courtiers also understood that the stag is only acting. Sometimes you are also doing the acting, student. Correct or no? If you don't want to do anything, then what you will say, Mama, my stomach is paining. And so you are also doing the acting. So in the same way, the stag is also doing acting to save himself from the king. Now let's see the meaning, student. The first one is make a dash towards someone. So the meaning is run suddenly and quickly towards someone. Now the next one is taken aback. Taken aback means shocked or surprised. Now, the last one is instinct. Instinct means inborn way of behavior or thinking. Have you understood, student? He grabbed his sword and set off into the forest in order to catch the stag. He chased the stag for quite a while. So, student, when King heard the laugh of his courtiers, he knew that his courtiers are making fun of him. So, and student, he is well known as excellent person who has skilled in shooting, in hitting a target. But because he missed his target, all they are making fun of him. So, he snatched the sword and went into the forest to catch the stag. For some times, and he chased the stag and covered a long distance. So the king was really very angry and he has to catch the stag. The stag came upon a hole in the ground that was covered by a rotting tree and filled with slime. From a distance, it could smell the dirty water and so was careful not to run over it. So, student, when stag was running to save his life, from a distance he saw that the ground was covered by rotting trees. Rotting trees means decay of a trees and filled with slime. Slime means thick and slippery liquid substance. So he thought that it is dangerous to run over it. But the king did not notice the danger and fall into a hole which was covered by rotting tree and slippery liquid substance. Now, let's see the meaning, student. The first one is dodging. Dodging means moving aside quickly to avoid an arrow, etc. The next one is marksman. Marksman means a person skilled in shooting, in hitting a target. Now, the last one is taunt. Taunt means teasing or insulting remarks. Have you understood, student? So, the stag went back to the pit and saw the king struggling for his life. He decided to save the king's life. So, student, when stag was running to save his life, suddenly he realized that no one is following him. But he understood that king might be fallen into the hole. So he went back to the pit. Pit means hole. So he went back to the hole and the king was struggling. Struggling means facing difficulty in coming out of the hole. So stag decided to save the king even though the king was trying to kill him. So student, through this we understood that stag is so kind. So student, like stag, we also have to save or we have to help others in their difficulties. We have to be kind to others. The stag told the king not to worry and to be brave for a while longer. He then caught a huge rock with his hind legs and lowered him into the pit. So student, when king was struggling to save his life, the stag told to the king to be brave. The stag caught a big rock with his hind legs. Hind legs means two legs at the back of animal's body. The stag lowered himself into a pit and Then the king caught the stag neck and stag climbed out and bring king into a safe place. Like this, the stag has saved the king's life. The king thanked the noble stag again and again and asked him to return with him to Benares, where he could have anything and everything he wanted. But the stag requested the king to rule wisely and well and be kind to animals. The stag saved the kings, and in return the king wanted to give anything to the stag student. But the stag only want to rule wisely. Okay, the stag want king to rule wisely and to show good judgment, to give good judgment and save animals and to be kind to them. Now student, let's see the meaning. The first one is slim. Slim means an unpleasant thick liquid substance. Now the next one is intention. Intention means what you plan to do or your purpose. Now the last one is quite a while. Quite a while means for quite a bit of time. Have you understood, student? Now question number 1. Write the answers to the following questions. The first one is, what was the king fond of? And the answer here is, the king was extremely fond of hunting. Now the next question is, what did the king tell his courtiers? And the answer is, the king told his courtiers that he would punish them if they allowed a single deer to escape. Now, the question number 3 is, how did the stag escape? And the answer over here is, when the king shot the arrow, it did not hit the stag. The stag pretended to have been shot, but soon he got up and escaped. Now, the next question is, why did the stag return? And the answer over here is, the stag returned to see that his king has fallen into the pit. If he had fallen into the pit, he would save his life. Have you understood, student? Now the next question is, make sentences of your own using the phrases. So student, here the phrases are given to you and you have to make sentence. Now the first one I will do for you. The first one is straight in the eye, and the sentence is, the honest man looked at the judge straight in the eye. So student, like this you have to make sentences. Okay. Question number 3. Add ly to the following words. So student, here you have to add ly. Okay, so first one I will do for you. The first is extreme. So the answer is extremely. So here student, you have to add ly in the given words. Thank you student. Keep practicing.